It is the 20th anniversary of Game Freak's Pokemon. And to celebrate this, Nintendo and Game Freak are rolling out a whole bunch of different merchandise that throw back to the old games, get us excited for the new games. There's toys, there's everything. There's cards, we got cards here. This is part of the new 20th anniversary edition TCG set. Now every month, it's called the Mythical Pokemon Collection, and every month they're going to roll out new merchandise that all have to do with a certain mythical Pokemon. The first month was Pikachu. Not a mythical Pokemon, but it's the mascot of this franchise, so you really can't fault them for doing that. The second month is Mew, which happens to be one of my favorite Pokemons because it is a psychic type and also it made Mewtwo. But what's even cooler is that the expansion, the TCG expansion that it is promoting is not only the fact that you can get a mythical Pokemon with a little badge, but is that you can get some of the new cards from the expansion generations, which look as though they harken back to Generation 1, because there is Pikachu and there is Blastoise. Now, we already know, I'm just going to get this open, now we already know that it comes with Mew, right? This is something we know. Here we have here, oh, look at that, it's a little tiny poster. Isn't that nice? Ooh, look at that. On the back, celebrate 20 years of Pokemon. And these are the collections. So you got Mew, Celebi, Jirachi, Darkrai, Manaphy, Shaman, Arceus, Victini, Keldeo, Genesect, and Meloetta. Then you have the new collection, the Charizard, Blastoise, Venusaur, and Pikachu EXE Red and Blue collection. That's what we're going to be opening now. So, first up we have the promo Mew. That's a shiny Mew. It has two attacks, Clairvoyance and Psychic. Clairvoyance, which is a 1 energy use, forces your opponent to reveal his or her hand, whereas Psychic does 40 plus damage, and the plus is 10 on top of every energy you have on top of Mew. That's a pretty good card. It's a basic card, and it's 70 HP. Really good stuff for something to start off with. Next to it, we have the code for the online. We're not going to show anyone because they're going to just take it. That can be used on your online TCG account. Anyway, we'll put them over here for the moment because now we've got the more exciting things. There's your little pin, the little Mew pin for all you collectors out there. First up, we're going to open Pikachu. So this is the Generations Pikachu booster. Let's open him up, see what we get. I'm quite excited. I've only been getting the X and Y stuff lately because that's all they're selling. Oh, here we are. So first up we have another basic Pokemon, Psychic type, a Ghastly. There we are. Ghastly's looking quite nice. Looking kind of spick. Hello, buddy. He has Sleep, Poison. Flip a coin. If heads, your opponent's active Pokemon is now asleep and poisoned. I suppose that's why it's called Sleep Poisoned. Can't get any more on the nose than that. Then we have a Psychic Energy, which is great, because it's what I'm in need for right now. That's also a brand new looking Psychic Energy. As someone that plays the TCG, the stripes in the background has not been seen. It's brand new, so that's rad. Then we have Krabby. Here you are, an old school one, Krabby. Now he has Vice Grip and Crab Hammer. Vice Grip does 10 damage, Crab Hammer does 50 damage. There are no other status ailments that it can inflict. Also a very powerful base Pokemon. Next we have Geodude. Here we are. Hello. There's Geodude. He has Rollout and Flail. And Flail, its description is, this attack does 10 damage times the number of damage counters on this Pokemon. So the more it gets hurt, the better it does. There's Geodude. Next we have a trainer card. It is the red card. There we are. It's a shiny, so it might shine off the camera. That's fine though. Its description, your opponent shuffles his or her hand into his or her deck and draws 4 cards. So that's just a nice little reshuffle. Now we actually have a, now we actually have a shiny, this is a rare card. It's a shiny Altaria, and as you can see, there's quite an odd aesthetic to it. It's not shiny the entire way around. It's shiny very briefly, there's a lining. Then there's also these like gems that kind of shoot down the side. It's just a nice aesthetic. Altaria is quite a lovely looking Pokemon, very cute. So, you know, it obviously has a cute aesthetic. Now, it knows Flap and Fairy Friend. Fairy Friend, if you have any Fairy Pokemon on your bench, this attack does 30 more damage, doing a combined 60 damage. That's quite a good drop. Then we have Hitmonlee, which looks fantastic. Might I say. Very cool, harkening back to the old school stuff. He looks like he's fighting a Machoke. I love the illustrations. He has Stretch Kick and Spiral Kick. Spiral Kick does a base 30. Stretch Kick, this attack does 30 damage to one of your opponent's benched Pokemon. So it means you don't attack the active Pokemon, you can attack a Pokemon waiting on the outside, which is great if you want to whittle them down. Then we have a nice looking Raichu, which is unlike the one that comes with the themed decks. There's a Raichu themed deck. This one looks as though it's having a lovely time rolling around in some flowers. Once again, there's quite an odd aesthetic down the side. It has 2 charms, whereas Altaria, I believe, had 3. This one seems to have 2. They must be part of a series of like cutesy type Pokemon. It has Circle Circuit and Thunderbolt. Circle Circuit. This attack does 20 damage times the number of your benched Pokemon. So if you got 5 benched Pokemon, it can do 100 damage. That's pretty good. Then you got Thunderbolt, which does 100 damage base, and you have to discard all energy attached to that Pokemon, so it's kind of a ballsy move. Next we have something that I'm definitely going to be using for my personal deck, a Haunter. A great looking Haunter too. Now this Haunter has a pokey ability, Gothic Fear. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon, you may leave both active Pokemon confused. So it leaves your enemy confused, also leaves you confused. Either way, you're still on equal footing. Its attack is Poison Ring, and this is its description. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now poisoned. That Pokemon can't retreat during your opponent's next turn. So kind of good when you're setting up for a win after that. And the final one here we have is Max Revive. There you are there. The description of Max Revive is put a Pokemon from your discard pile on top of your deck. Simple as that. Literally what it does in the game, revive a Pokemon. So that was the Pikachu booster. Now we're going to open up the Blastoise booster. I've got high hopes for this one because I happen to be a big fan of Blastoise. Look at this one. Ooh, here we go. Something fellow Snap 30 member is going to absolutely love. Our first drop is a Pikachu, which will go great with the Raichu that we just uncovered. Now this Pikachu has 60 HP, it has 2 attacks. One is Nuzzle, one is Quick Attack. Quick Attack does a base 20, but it has a plus. If you flip a coin and it's heads, the attack does an extra 10 damage. So that's your 30 damage. And it also has Nuzzle. So you flip a coin, if heads, your opponent's active Pokemon is paralyzed. So good, once again, if you need to set up your team. Sorry, Bulbasaur, I'm going to move you down on the ground because you run out of room here. Next we got Caterpie. Brow. Very cool. It has 1 attack, Bug Bite, does a base 10 damage, but it also has an ability which is Adaptive Evolution. Now, Adaptive Evolution, this Pokemon can evolve during your first turn or the turn you play it. Now, anyone that plays a TCG knows that when you put a Pokemon down on the field, only after a turn can you then evolve it. This Caterpie allows you to evolve it instantly. So it's really good if you have, your Butterfree waiting. It'll get you to it easier. Instead of 3 turns, it'll take 2 turns. Then we have another Psychic Energy, which is fine. Then we have Meowth. Hello. Look at this guy. He can talk. Not this card, though, unfortunately. He has 1 attack. Exhausted Tackle. Very odd. Flip a coin. If heads, this attack does 30 damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. If tails, this Pokemon does 30 damage to itself. So not the best card to use when you come out swinging. Next one we have is, I've looked through these other cards and I'm very excited for what I've got. So here we have a shiny Machop. There we are. Hello. He has 1 attack, does 10 damage. It's Knuckle Punch. Simple as that. Nothing more to say about Machop. Now we have something here that, well, I can't use in my deck, but it is a pretty rare card. It's Yveltal. A shiny Yveltal. It has 130 HP. It has 2 attacks, Oblivion Wing and Darkness Blade. Now, Oblivion Wing, attach a Dark Energy card from your discard pile to one of your benched Pokemon. And Darkness Blade, flip a coin. If tails, this Pokemon can't attack during your next turn. Regardless, does 100 damage, enough to take out a Pokemon in 1 hit. That's perfect. Next one we have is a cool looking Jinx. There we are. Look at Jinx. Also, I don't know if you guys noticed, but the Yveltal does have 2 little charms down the side. Once again, don't exactly know what they mean, but I'm going to research it. So we've got our Jinx. It has 1 attack, Hug. The defending Pokemon can't retreat during your opponent's next turn. But it also has a Pokey ability. Once during your turn, before you attack, if this Pokemon is on your bench, you may heal 10 damage from your active Pokemon. So it's a healer. Now we have another cool one here, which I'm loving. One of Luke's favorites. It is Chikorita. Now, I have a couple Chikoritas at home, all different. This one, once again, has that charm aesthetic down the side, which is pretty rad. It has, 2 attacks, Vine Whip and Run Around. Now, Vine Whip does a base attack of 20. Run Around. Switch this Pokemon with one of your benched Pokemon. Simple as that. That's all it does. Now we have a cool one, which actually relates to an earlier one we opened. Metapod. There you are. So if you're getting your Caterpie to a Butterfree, you need to go through Metapod. Now, his ability is Adaptive Evolution. This Pokemon can evolve during your first turn or the turn you play it. So it has the same ability as Caterpie, which means you can pretty much get Butterfree in a single turn, which is fantastic because they really do nothing. Because its other attack, is Harden. During your opponent's next turn, if this Pokemon would be damaged by an attack, prevent that attack's damage done to this Pokemon if that damage is 60 or less. So it's just a defensive maneuver. We got that. And the final one here we have is Revitalizer. They look like 2 bottles of whiskey, or something strange like that. And its description is, put 2 leaf Pokemon from your discard pile into your hand. Now, I have to say, considering I use a Psychic Electric deck, this is actually pretty rad. I'm definitely going to be using the Pikachu and Raichu combination. I'm definitely going to be using the Ghastly and Haunter combination. I totally wish I got a Gengar in it, but we can't all be that lucky. Who knows? I have money to throw around. I might go buy another one of these later on and get some more, because unfortunately I haven't seen them sell this generation's booster packs on their own. You can only get them through this bundle. Regardless, we got some pretty cool cards here that I'm definitely going to implement later on. Thank God I got back into the Pokemon TCG, I'll say that, guys. Let's play sometime. Peace.